Sharon, can you hear me? I want to see how long it's going to take for her to realize that I'm talking to her. So I started hitting record and look at her face. She has no idea. She has no idea that we're recording right now. Sharon.
Oh, hi. How long have you been on?
Well, I started recording about 45 seconds ago.
Yay. You saw me in
But
deep work?
you were knee deep in focus face.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I
Was I
was
picking my nose or anything?
no,
Were my
no.
hands under
I'm
control?
sad that you were not. I was sitting here like steady talking to you, and I'm like, she cannot hear me, and I'm going to hit record just to see how long it takes until she realizes. There was a research report that came out recently looking at women with ADHD, specifically moms, and how their symptoms get written off as something else entirely. Anxiety, stress, just being a busy parent. The data lines up almost exactly with the story that you're about to hear. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Vibe with Ky podcast. My name is Kyrus Keenan Westcott. Welcome to the show. Today I'm sitting down with my good friend, my bestie, Sharon Pope, the founder of Shelpful, an AI-powered accountability app built for ADHD and overwhelmed brains. Her story starts in a place that a lot of us know a little too well. She was a few months postpartum. She was back at work. She was running on fumes, and she had this moment of realizing that she couldn't remember the last time that she had a sip of water or finished a single task for herself. She had people around her, friends and family, a full support system, but nobody whose actual job it was to just check up on her. So she built that herself. What started as a survival tool for Sharon turned into Shelpful. But here's the part that really got me. For years, two different doctors told her that she couldn't possibly have ADHD. It wasn't a clinician who finally connected the dots for her. It was her own users, her app's users. So today we get into how Shelpful actually works, why so much traditional advice fails ADHD brains, and what it looks like to stop shaming yourself for the small stuff. Everything on Shelpful is linked in the show notes. Before we get into it, if you want more things like this, subscribe on Patreon or Facebook for $5 a month. You get access to my ADHD deep dive library, the full reverse the mic segment where my guests put me in the hot seat, and behind the scenes content that I don't post anywhere else. With that said, my friends, sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with my bestie, the very resourceful Sharon Pope. I like your microphone.
I know. We have a backstory.
We do have a backstory.
You
we do have a
attached
backstory.
it.
I did. I did it in a ghetto way. Do you see it? Do you see
Okay.
that ghetto?
This could fall, but is my sound okay? So do a little
Yeah.
sound check since I came
Yeah.
on a little abruptly. All right, good.
Joe.
We actually have some on the mic experience together.
We do. We do.
So-
I let the record show for everybody that's watching and listening that Sharon and I have decided that we're going to one day have a morning show.
Yes.
It's
Local
gonna
news.
happen.
Local news. Syndicated.
Why
now.
local? Why local?
Because that's our vibe. I think like we were
Yeah, you're right.
like the
You're not
quality.
wrong.
The quality.
It's gonna be like low quality, like high school
And
AV coach.
And the content was very much like just what we noticed around us kind of stuff.
Yes.
And maybe like the weathers. I mean,
I don't know
or it starts local and it just becomes huge.
I don't know. I mean, we obviously have the best technology here.
Available to us.
So testing 1, 2, 3.
Listeners,
1, 2, 3.
or if this ends up in, if you're not viewing and you're only listening, some people might actually just listen with their ears. Ky and I both have inflatable microphones.
Yes.
That are keepsakes from when we
Yes.
met, which was in Austin in March. And
Yes.
these were a souvenir from a dueling piano bar that we
Was it a souvenir or did we steal it?
I feel like it's a gift. You don't give someone this to borrow.
We didn't ask permission. Nobody bestowed it upon us. We took it.
I think so. Let's just give them a plug then here. Pete's Dueling Piano Bar in Austin.
It has the name on it.
It has the name.
Yeah.
That. I feel like it's swag, but let's give them a plug since we stole it from them. Pete's Dueling Piano Bar. Ruckus, fun, good time. Can highly recommend.
The bartenders there were awesome. So
yes, everyone, the talent on the keys, it was all great.
The keys. I'm so excited. This is going to be super duper easy. I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to answer them. You and we met at Neurodiversion 2026. I was a last minute addition filling in for somebody, and I went in not knowing what to expect because
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were filling in.
I'm talking no lie, like 2 weeks. before the event. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine it without you. I'm so happy that
I know.
happened.
I'm glad that I went because I got to meet you. I got to meet some other people that I have looked up to, and like are these content creators that like provide these services and these things to the ADHD community that I'm like so thankful that you do this, and that's what you do. And we're going to talk a lot about that today, about how you help adults with ADHD who are my audience. But before we get into that, Neurodiversion 2026, how amazing was it to hang out with me on a scale of
Amazing.
1 to 10?
I'm 11, I'll say, because we didn't know each other. We'd never
We did not.
interacted.
We did
I
not. Yes.
had seen some of your content. I don't even know if I
Yes.
followed you yet. Like,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because the algorithm was taking care of it for me, probably.
Yes.
And you came in, and we didn't know each other at all. But I feel like our friends Chris and Ari were giving me crap for something, and I think you kind of clocked that. You're
Mhm.
like, okay, she can take a joke, and we very
Yes.
quickly started ribbing each
Yes.
other, and I just feel like we fell into
Yes.
like. I think we both love a bit. I think that's something we have in common.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. We do love a bit. Yes.
so I think that was what bonded us early, and we just had
Yes.
such a blast and
Yes. No, we had a great time.
and it was the great thing about this, and I share your insight that it's so great to be around these other folks who are in the biz kind of
Mhm.
having to show up online, which is tough, and having other people that can relate to that, which is
Yes.
amazing, but also being unmasked around them and just being able
Mhm.
to be like our authentic, weird, but also like maybe overstimulated self, where maybe someone's like I at one point I was like, hey guys, I'm kind of done with this joke. And they're like, okay, like you're able to just say that and be
Yes.
yourself. So
Yes.
I mean, it's a really magical space for me too, and it's a great place to be able
Yeah.
to meet someone like-minded, because I think we
Yes.
became friends faster than we probably normally would have.
100%. And it's like you said, it's just nice to be around people that just get it, that just
Mhm.
understand what the life is like. Because even though we didn't talk about like work a lot, we did. At some points, we all made content together. At one point, we all like got to just bond and just like joke and laugh. And these are some of the most like popular ADHD content creators that are out there on the interwebs. And we're all just like chilling at
Mhm.
a random Airbnb at 4 o'clock in the morning, throwing candy at each other. So like that's,
Yep.
yep,
Not at to each other.
to each other, with a specific goal in
Nerd Scummy
mind.
clusters are the
Yes.
best. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But no, I'm super excited because we got to connect, and now we're here, and now we get to sit and chat. And I'm super excited to talk with you because so many of us, we struggle, right? And you're somebody that has literally built a professional nudging service to help fix some of the struggles that we have with ADHD. And for the folks that have not met you yet, for the people that are like, wait, who the hell is this woman
Right.
that's on my screen right now? You are the brains behind Shelpful, which is super helpful.
Yeah, stands for
You
super
helped to
helpful.
come super helpful, and you helped it bring it to life. What is it? How did it come to fruition, and how does it help adults with ADHD?
Yeah. Shelpful came from my own kind of rock bottom. I'd worked in startups for my whole career. That was my thing. Never thought of starting my own until this kind of moment 3 months after I had my second kid and gone back to work. And I had this crystal clear moment that I'll remember forever of mean mugging myself, judging myself so harshly because it was 10 o'clock at night. I'm still wearing the clothes I'd put on, the workout clothes, planning to work out, never did. Couldn't remember if I took a sip of water. Couldn't remember anything I had literally done for myself. But I'm, keeping a 3-month-old alive and well. My 5-year-old was good, all set. My husband's doing great. My dog fed, walked. I have nothing. And I felt like that I have a support system. I
Mhm.
have friends, I have family, I have the traditional things that I need to get help, but I'm not going to ask my friend to like check in to see if I had water or not. And it was those kind of like core self-care things that were either falling off the list or not even on the list. And I just felt so forgotten by myself. And
Mhm.
was just judging myself so harshly. And I was kind of just thinking, and I tried I'm like just a product person. I love trying new products, love
Yeah.
trying new apps. There was nothing like this out there. And I was just like, if I could just have someone just sit on my shoulder throughout the day and kind of be like, hey, have you had any water? Hey, remember that thing you had to do that was due today? Could you Could you get that? Just squeeze it in, just start it, just open the browser, just start. Like someone just could nudge me along. That's what I needed. And I realized I was like, I can make that and I could make it like tomorrow because this was
Mhm.
before ChatGPT came out. So we're not in the AI
Right.
time. I was like, I could set it up so you could text with a real human person who checks that within in on you throughout the day and helps you stay on track with your stuff and kind of meets
Amazing.
you where you are. And so that was the first thing. I just kind of threw up a website. I got kind of some of the piping. I'm a product person, but I'm not a software engineer. So I kind of hacked together with tape and glue the first version of the product and was telling one of my best friends about it, who I talk to every day. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, completely got it. And I was like, do it with me. She's like, yeah, I'll help you. I'm like, no, 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 I don't want help. I want you to do it with me. And so we always
Wait, is
say
this
that
who I think it is?
that's
Is
my
this who
friend
I think it
Lydia.
is?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
I
my
think it's
friend
somebody else.
Lydia.
Oh, I think it's somebody
No,
else. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
my
Mhm.
co-founder Lydia, who
Mhm.
I don't think you've met, but maybe seen in
Nah.
pictures. Um, we'd like to say she pushed me off a cliff and I pulled her with me. So she and I started the company originally, and we did add later a third co-founder who is a software engineer, and we became a tech company, a software company focused on supporting people with kind of their basic stuff they need to get done.
That's amazing. And like I to do this even before I didn't know that this happened before AI
Yeah.
became like as prominent as it is today. I guess a side question here. Has AI made this venture easier or more difficult for you and the business?
It opened things up for us. It made us be able to offer a service that was way more affordable and accessible for
Mm,
people. I mean, it comes with its challenges, but I mean, for us, it really unlocked a whole new set of customers because if you're paying a human in the United States to check in on you throughout the day, I mean, we want to pay that person.
sure,
And
sure.
so, we were, charging for that service like $100 a month, which is hard. That's a hard thing
Yeah.
and then we didn't have great margins because we
Right, right.
wanted to pay these folks really well because they are the gems of the earth, by the way. Like the
Mhm.
people that we found to be these accountability buddies are remarkable humans.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were making it up as we went along. And so we had our ideas coming in of what this would look like. But I was more of the client than I was the accountability. But I needed it. I wasn't going to be the expert on how to best help me. So
Yeah.
we really kind of shaped and evolved the service around that. And so we eventually made an AI version. I mean, and I won't take the whole podcast with this, but in response to another life event, I had a small stroke that went to my
Yeah.
eye. So I lost some
Yeah.
vision and it was really scary. It was completely unknown. We still don't know the cause. But at the time, I went from having taking like no medicines to taking like 6 different medicines and
Sure.
supplements. I had all these doctors because I was seeing every specialist try to figure this out. I had cardio appointments, neuro appointments, all this stuff, and I was melting. And we had just a surge of growth. So I didn't have a shelper, an accountability buddy available to me. And
Right.
so like I
Right.
am like, I created this service for people who are drowning and I can't get help. And so this was just after,
Yeah.
the kind of AI APIs had come out.
Sure,
Like
sure.
OpenAI had kind of opened up ChatGPT for companies to develop in a siloed
Right.
manner that's, private and not training the API or the model, I mean.
Mhm.
And so we made an AI version hard coded as like to help
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
purely share it was just texting with me, only my number. It wasn't flexible at all. And it helped. It really helped. Like I didn't miss a single dose. I felt like I just had that support, that layer that I needed. And we're like, it works. Like it worked for
Right.
me. So we made a kind of MVP version that people could text with and launched that. And
Mhm.
quickly it just completely surpassed any signups
Yeah.
for our human only service. And I would say
Yeah.
price was probably the main reason that happened. Yeah.
It's so surreal in today's world to say things like human only service and like it
Yeah,
makes
I know.
sense. But
Yeah.
like if we were to go back to like 1995 and say something like that, would be
Mhm.
like, okay, you're gonna start come with us. We have to have a chat with you.
I know. I know. You're like,
It's weird.
that is it's the robots are talking to me. Oh yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They're supposed to be. Yeah. So
So
that's the service today.
what's the difference between so like most time I feel like sometimes people will hear something like this and they'll be like, okay, well I have Siri for that. I have, Alexa for that and all that. But I
Right.
feel like those things fall short. How does Shelpful help where those types of robots in a way
Yeah.
fall short? How does Shelpful help?
I always talk about it as like it's like a to-do list that talks back. So
Yeah.
Shelpful is an app on the iPhone or Android and you can keep your list there. But have it's a lovely list. We worked really hard to make the list easy to use. I rarely go to the list tab. I hang out in the chat tab. And what I do there is
Yeah.
I can vent. I have to do this, 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 and this. And it just puts it on nice and neat on my list. And then what happens is my AI buddy, and you can name them. Mine is currently named Task Daddy. You
Of
can
course it is.
rename it anytime.
Of course
And
it is.
yeah, and people do like pretty funny names. Like people sometimes do like harsh ones, and other people do
Yeah.
like my glowing example of my future self, kind of like
Yeah.
very fun names that people give them. And so that AI buddy is going to proactively ping you based on
Mm.
stuff that's on your list and based on conversation context. So you're kind of in like you can just verbal vomit things you have to do. You can send a photo, you can send a voice note in the app, and you're getting proactive pings pulling you back in. And also, we worked really hard to make it so that it's by default assuming that the bare minimum is the goal. So
Sure.
when it's following up with you, it's like, hey, could you just like you need to pay the taxes? Could you just open a new tab on your browser?
Mhm.
You want to take a walk today, but maybe you could just step outside and take a breath and like see where we go from
Yeah.
there. So it kind of like are very much by design, and also through our research and being trained by some of the best behavioral experts in America, that we made it so that it truly is mapping to how people do make progress, especially people with ADHD, which had quickly become our like core audience.
Yeah.
That you are getting just one foot forward. You're just stepping into it. It's not this blaring big thing that another like getting an Apple reminder for do the marketing analysis is so huge. But so if we
Yeah.
can have intelligently try to
Yeah.
prod you to do it by making it feel smaller, then that's great.
Right. It's funny. I'm glad that you talked about how it kind of just like number one, it works with you as you because us ADHDers, it's good for us to take like the small steps, like what you were just
Mhm.
talking about. Like if you want to go to the gym, maybe just start off by putting on your gym clothes and
Yeah.
then just kind of going from there and stuff like that. But I often find when my memory is shitty. The first thing that I tend to sacrifice is my own self-care. So
Mhm.
you had mentioned things like reminding us to drink water and
Mhm.
scheduling a doctor's appointment, doing the taxes, all that stuff. Why do you think neurodivergent adults are just so quick to drop the personal goals the second that like work or family demands start to pile up? Why are we so quick to drop that?
In my experience, it's because there's less accountability for the you stuff. You
Mm,
don't care as much about letting yourself down, letting a
mm,
friend down, letting your boss down, letting your
mm-hmm.
kids down. Ugh, that's like a gut punch just thinking
Right,
saying those words, letting your kids down.
right.
Like I'm going to show up for them. I mean, and I'm the person who had ADHD undiagnosed until I started Shelpful, which is a whole different story. I started before.
We're both late diagnosed
Yes,
people. Yeah, yeah.
and I started Shelpful before I was diagnosed. I was kind of like, I have these problems. This will help. And then everyone who signed up in the forum, they're like, this would be great because I have ADHD. So I like to say my customers diagnosed me with ADHD,
Yeah.
followed by a medical team. But yeah, I felt I always did great at work.
Mm,
I mean, very, very career minded. At the age of 28, I was the youngest chief marketing officer of any company on the New York Stock Exchange. Having people to report to and accountable to works great for me.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
allowed me to pour everything into work and not make a dentist appointment for 4 years. So I think, so like for me, it's a very easy equation, which is I don't give a
uh-huh,
shit about letting myself down, which
right.
is not great.
Which is not a good way to
Not,
lead
I,
life,
not
but
ideal. Not ideal.
yeah, but I get
So,
it, but I get it though. Yeah, that makes
right.
that's a very good point,
So
and
this is our
I
attempt to kind of foster some accountability.
right.
And you do know it's AI, you feel less attached to that. But actually, Kai, at the time of this
Yeah.
airing, I imagine, assuming this isn't airing like this week,
No, no, June. Yeah.
our next feature, we're working more and more to create this feeling of accountability. So that we're gonna have new automation features so that you can set it up that when I leave my home, my AI buddy is told to check in on me on a specific thing. So when I leave my house
Oh,
between the
wow.
hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., I want it to check in on me to tell me which errands I should run because it can look at my list and it knows the conversation, so it can ping me exactly what I want. Or when I arrive at my kid's school to remind me to take a deep breath because the check-in line is very stressful and I just need to. So you can have these like situational check-ins based on your movements around town and also around your house because we have these like smart tags you can scan. So like I'm at the
Yeah.
dishes, check in, I like tap it by your sink. I'm here, check in 10 minutes and see if I did one
That's
dish. Like
so
those
cool.
kinds of things. So really just trying to create more elements around that. And then the next evolution of that is going to be like an alarm feature. Like I can't turn off this alarm unless I actually get to this place and prove
Mm,
that I got there. So really still working hard make the app pull you when you can't pull yourself.
right, right. And I think the way that you're describing it, it's one of the best things because like sometimes people will just be like, oh, just get a planner, or just get a notebook or just write it all out,
Mhm.
in that manner. And it's not always that easy. You are helping, and this is why I adore and I love what you do because you are making it easier for adults to go about their lives in what is a neurotypical built world.
Mhm.
You're making it easy for them, number one. And number two, as someone with children yourself that is running a business, like you get it. You get what it's like to have so many different things going on at one time that it can be really easy to just say, you know what, screw it. So I'm not gonna try. But you're making
Yeah.
it easier for people to do that. I would imagine you get feedback from people being like, "Hey, thank you for this," or
Yeah.
like, "What's it like?"
Oh,
You
that's the
put
best.
so much. I would imagine so. Like you put so much work into it for such a long time, and then you get like that one email that's just like, "Hey, thank you for this." What is that feeling like when you see stuff like that come through?
I mean, that's what it helps you keep showing up,
Yeah,
especially someone who thrives on dopamine and help making
yeah.
other people happy that like I mean, one comment that sticks out after we launched the app was so we made this specific onboarding. So right when you download the app, you start chatting with AI and it's basically like,
Hmm.
what's one thing that's falling off your list right now? It just tries to get like one thing
Yeah,
on your list just to kind of get you going and presses you to make it small.
yeah.
And someone wrote in and was like, "That's the most listened to I've felt in years."
It's the
And I
best
was
feeling.
like, "Get out of here." And I worked so hard on that onboarding because
Yeah,
I wanted it to feel like not another freaking form to fill out, like buy forms, buy onboard. Like I just am
yeah.
so sick of everything feeling like work to try something new. And so I wanted it to feel really welcoming and like kind of just warm and just get you to feel like there's something you can finish, something you can add today or tomorrow that you could just get done a little bit. And
Right.
you mentioned the advice of like, just get a planner, just get a calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, any advice that starts in just is the worst advice.
Awful. It is awful advice.
And
Yes.
ADHDers are the ones that get it, right? You're talking to a neurotypical
Yes.
person. Well, I'm always late to appointments. Well, why don't you just set an alarm for,
Yes,
no,
just an alarm. Just
it's
leave
just
out earlier. Just wake
it's
up
just
earlier.
not
Yeah.
just gonna be that
Mhm.
easy.
Yep.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Just
It's
go
not how it
F
works.
yourself. Yeah, it's not work doesn't work for us. So also our AI would never, would never say something like that. And if it uses the
Yeah.
word just, it would be in the context of could you just take one step outside? Like it's
Right.
truly a just, not just change your whole personality and brain chemistry to get this done, which
Right.
is never a reasonable request.
So what do you struggle with then? Like you personally, what do you struggle with? Like 'cause it's you create the system that helps so many people, but you are, and I was able to confirm this because I met you in person. You are in fact a human being yourself. You are
I
not
am.
AI. You are not a robot, but you are human with human struggles every day. What do you as a human struggle with that and are you able to take some of those struggles and apply some of that to improving the app on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely, because I still struggle with all the same things. I
Yeah.
would be the last to ever say that anything I've done or made will fix you, but my
Uh-huh.
hope is that it helps you have more better days and help you shame yourself less
Mhm.
for like, even just being able to write down, drink water or get fresh air or brush my teeth, take a
Mhm.
shower. I mean, people obviously use this for do the marketing plan as well. Like, I get more joy out of helping with those little things because I think that's where it came
Mhm.
from, me creating this. And I still struggle with that stuff. Like I had a great streak with washing my face. I used to not wash my face at all. I
Mhm.
identified that it was because I didn't like water splashing. So that was huge for me.
Interesting. Okay.
We can talk more about this. Um, and, but then I had my AI buddy following with me just to get to the sink every night. Like, just go to the sink, wave at
Mm.
yourself. Maybe while you're there, consider turning the faucet on. And
Yeah.
I got so good at it. But yeah, so I took it off my list. I'm nailing this. Life happens, whatever. I mean, it's hard to even identify why a habit stops, but it kind of
Mhm.
just slowly stopped. And
Sure.
maybe I like ran out of face soap or something,
Mm,
very
mhm.
ADHD. And so kind of just stopped doing it. So, eventually I realized like, oh, I'm just using the micellar. I'm just using the cotton pad again. I'm not actually washing
Right,
my face.
right.
Maybe maybe I'll put that back with my buddy and tune that up. So I haven't fixed anything, like fixed anything other than I truly know that I shame myself way less for not showing up
Mhm.
for the little things because I
Yeah.
accept that as part of who I am. And I have this kind of backstop that I feel like I have this non-judgmental support that I
Mhm.
can just give it to Shelpful and be like, all right, at least somebody's gonna be asking me about this. At least some
Yeah.
quote unquote buddy is gonna be asking me about this. And I feel slightly less alone. And that's the most we can do right now is make you feel
Mhm.
slightly less alone. But that's a pretty great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so let's imagine that that a person that's watching or listening right now, they download the app, they get it. They're like, "Okay, Sharon, what now?"
Hmm.
What is the first thing that a person should do after they download the app?
Yeah. I would put in if you can think of what's falling off the list, that's a you thing. I feel like that's where we can help you soonest and fastest. And
Mm,
that would be my one tip. Just get one thing in there to start. Maybe one thing that's like a habit and maybe one thing that's a task that you just need to
yeah.
go to the post office or whatever and that you've been avoiding. And start there. The biggest mistake people make, and we've thought like, should we prevent people from doing this? But that would be, I think, not called for. People will load it up, right? Like we as
Mhm.
ADHDers, we like, oh my gosh, this solution could help me. And then we pour like hours into just dumping everything in. And you can take photos in it. So you could take a picture of your to-do list or your calendar and
Yeah.
feed it, and then it adds everything. And so you could easily, you could start to get overwhelmed quickly. So I love it when
Right,
people start
right.
small. And we try to get them to start small and the onboarding. We're like, just give me one thing. One habit, one task, or two tasks. And then start from there. So I would say offer up something that is whatever you're judging yourself for forgetting to do
Right.
and see where that takes you.
Yeah. I love that. And as you were talking, I can't help but think back to what you were just saying not long ago about how this didn't start off as an ADHD, focused app. You didn't have ADHD. You created this and discovered
Mhm.
that ADHD was a important thing in your life and the lives of the people that were downloading this. Has it become an ADHD focused thing, or is this something that whether you are diagnosed with ADHD or not, this can be something that you could get something out of, whether you have ADHD or not?
Yeah. I mean, the latter is true. I think what I always say is for ADHD and overwhelmed brains, because I
Hmm.
think anyone who's overwhelmed could be helped by this.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it has a way of distilling down and proactively reaching out on the things that any overwhelmed person is maybe putting to the side, breaking things down for you, which is super helpful. After my users were so kind to diagnose me with ADHD, I have found myself on, being an advocate for adults with ADHD and women,
Yeah.
everyone, but obviously being a undiagnosed woman who was told by two different doctors that I couldn't possibly have ADHD because in college I got too good of grades and in career you said you got promoted like 3 times. You just have anxiety, little
Oh,
lady. Bye bye. And so
yeah.
I felt such a sense of justice in wanting
Uh-huh.
to just help this community that welcomed me in with open arms. And so that to me, and it over indexes on being helpful with ADHD by nature of that. And then I've
Yeah.
also, because I turned to social media to share about what I'm building and to share, I'm also just someone who has 1 million tips for and ideas for everything. Like I love products, I love
Uh-huh.
hacks, I love all that. So I took to social media to start sharing that stuff and accidentally built a community there that does over
Yeah.
index with ADHD.
That's how it always works out.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about the social media side of things because,
Hmm.
it's funny that you said accidentally built a community because I think a lot of us in our little ADHD world, because it's a small world of ADHD content
Hmm.
creators, I think we
Hmm.
all kind of just accidentally stumbled upon this world,
Hmm.
and accidentally created these audiences that follow us.
Hmm.
What's it been like for you to build a community of people that are like, hey, I want to hear more about what you have to say,
Yeah.
like what's
It's
is that weird because it's
it
weird for
is
me.
weird. Yeah, it's weird and I get very embarrassed about it if anyone from my
Yeah.
real life like talks to me at all about my content. I'm like, just don't watch it. Like stay away, get away from me. But it's because it's a place that by being vulnerable, I found more people like me. And
Yeah.
that's a huge, amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And that has come with some really high highs, right?
Mhm.
That's like people commenting like, "Oh my gosh, this is me. I never knew this was a thing." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So but by me being vulnerable, I've full on helped another human being. Like check mark, like love that.
Yeah.
Comes with lows too, right? As someone who's motivated by well, yeah, who's driven by dopamine and like things that are ding 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 rewarding. When you work hard on a piece of content and like nobody watches it,
Yep.
it can be hard to show up
Yep.
again because you kind of are like, well, what did you don't. It's not easy to just be like, oh well, the algorithm, the hook, or what. It's just like it's me. Obviously, it's me. I suck, and
Yeah.
everybody hates
It's
me.
clearly I suck at everything. That's
Yeah,
where that rejection sensitive
yeah,
dysphoria comes into play. Like
yeah,
only 100,000 people watched it instead of a million. I
yeah.
clearly suck at life.
Right. If you're
Clearly
watching this right
suck
now,
at
could you
life.
just drop us a like? Come
Just
on,
yeah,
guys.
just like
Come on, just
can you
do
just
it.
if you're watching or listening right now, I think that Sharon and I need we need some
Just a little
validation.
like, yeah.
Just like a little something, something,
And of course,
because that goes a long way.
as a professional and as a marketer, and if I'd give anyone else advice, I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
just keep showing up, which is what I did.
Yes.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do keep
That's all we
showing
can
up.
do.
It's all you can
Mhm.
do. And I think
Mhm.
that, I have also like on like TikTok specifically is tough because you could do my stuff is very uneven performance on TikTok. Like I have a couple things that'll be like thousands of new followers, and then something
Yeah.
that'll get like 100,000 views on Instagram will get like 300 on
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
like, well,
yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's if there's
And
any
I love
content
that app.
creators.
I love hanging out in the app. It's
Right.
great. It's a great for ADHDers too. There's so much
It's
cool
so
stuff.
great.
Yeah.
It's if there's any content creators that are watching or listening right now, please know that we get it. Because
Yeah.
Instagram, or I'm sorry, TikTok is it's my biggest audience, right?
Yeah.
But like you would never know it.
Based on some videos.
You would
Yeah.
never know it, but like it's
And it's
it's
inexplicable. There's
oh yeah.
you can try to come up with a reason, but you just won't. And
It just
so
yeah. I'm happy I stopped caring. I'm so happy that I stopped because I used to care
right.
a lot.
Right. So that to me was I just
Did you
hit
just punch me in the face? You just punched me.
I violently hit
Anybody
my
that's
microphone. It
listening
actually
in,
hurt.
anybody that's listening and not watching, Sharon just punched me in the face.
Ow.
That's what that sound was.
That's what I was like in my mind doing, but I punched the arm of my microphone and it actually hurt. I'm a hand talker, but I think it was once I started showing up authentically, and that looked like some of my best performing content is me without makeup on, looking like complete trash, in my opinion. I like that. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
It means it's like kind of rough editing and just posting it, even though it's not perfect. And that's the other thing I'd give if anyone's watching this who is aspiring content creator, like just hit record because you
Just
don't
do it.
know. You don't
You
know.
never know.
And
You
if you
never
have
know.
something to say, just say it. And the worst that happens is 300 people. But if you said something and 300 people
That's a lot of
listened,
people.
that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. Yes.
So I try to think about that too.
And I always say like 300. Imagine 300 people in your house right now. That's a lot of
Very
people.
crowded, very
It's
stressful.
a lot of people. So it's okay.
Yeah.
I wanna play a little game with you, Sharon.
Let's do it.
It's called This or That. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a choice of two things.
Ready.
And you just have to choose one or both or none.
I
It's
love
not
games.
deep.
I
It
love
is not
games.
deep. Don't overthink it.
Nope.
Just like
I'm
whatever first
overthinking
comes
it.
to mind. You're
I'm
already
gonna win. I'm winning.
everybody always overthinks it. And I'm just like, just answer it.
No,
All right,
I
you
just want to
ready?
win. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. There's no prize except my love. That's it.
Well, I'll win that.
Are you ready? All right, here we go. First one. A physical paper planner or a digital calendar app?
Digital calendar, goodbye. Get out of here with paper
That
calendars.
was too easy.
Also, for anyone viewing, I have this beautiful giant calendar behind me.
I love that. Love it.
Do not use it. It is
No?
purely just no. There's nothing written on it. And I've had this up for 4 years.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, it's all
It looks nice.
It
looks
does.
nice.
It's pretty. It's pretty, which is why I got it. I actually never planned on using it. Every now and then
That's
I'll
fair.
walk by it and I'll be like, oh, it's August. Cool. I'll just be like,
It's like January. You're like, oh, it's August.
4 months left in the year. Cool. Which, by the way, it's not August right now. It is May, I believe.
It is definitely
Anyway.
May.
So it sometimes gives me like annual timing, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. It's right once a month.
Right.
once a year.
And by the way, I do like writing
Yeah.
stuff. It's just that I'll
Okay.
lose it. I'll lose it. So
That's
I
fair.
I don't trust it.
That's
In
fair.
college, I had a paper planner and it was my whole life was in it. But once you start
Mhm.
traveling for work and have kids who just take things, it doesn't work.
Mhm. I do not have children, so I have 2 cats.
They could take
Does that
it.
count?
I
They
think
could.
cats are a little bit secretly evil. I could see them taking it.
They are one literally just is running away because he heard you talking about him. He was like,
Oh.
"Why is she talking trash?"
But if I were there, he would be like stalking me. Cats
No, my cats
they get it and they want
my
to
cats
follow
are a
me
little
around.
hoarse. My boys,
No.
they're a little hoarse. Like, they will be, "What's up, Sharon? Hey, how you doing?"
And I'm openly like, I don't like
Eh.
you. And they're like, cool, I will now
They're
make
like
you,
they're
I will
like,
now make you
"Anyway."
miserable. Here I am
They're
climbing
like,
on you.
"Anyway." Are you allergic?
Nope. I wish.
You just I wish I was al
Then I have a
That's
reason.
fair.
I just
That's
don't,
fair.
I've never vibed with cats. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
But I respect,
You vibe with Kai.
I vibe with Ky. And I have other cat friends.
Yeah.
No judgment.
All right. I certainly hope not, because I'm a cat dad. All right, here we go. Next one. Texting a
Okay.
friend for accountability, or having a stranger nudge you.
I'm going to say, well, are we paying the stranger?
You're overthinking.
Okay. I think stranger. Because the friends are too easy on each other. And this is my experience because
That
I've
is
tried
true.
to do this with friends a million times.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, some friends can pull it off, but
Yes.
I think that like, oh, you have a lot going on because they know what's going on in
Mhm.
your life. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I know you're having a hard week, so
Yeah.
don't go on that walk. Treat yourself.
Right.
And
Right.
and that's the
Choose a
right
stranger that doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit about you.
Yes, that's the right response for a friend, by the way. You know, that's correct. They do know what's going on, so they have to be nice. But yeah,
Yes.
choose a stranger who's gonna be like, did you do it or not?
You're feeling sad? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're supposed to go on a walk.
Right. Or choose an AI who you truly don't care
That's
about.
fair. Next one. Forgetting your keys or forgetting your coffee.
Coffee. I actually never forget my keys because I have a system. But I used to.
You have a system.
It's a
Teach me
simple
your ways.
system. It's a simple system. I don't ever take my keys out of my purse because my car opens by being next to it, that kind of thing. You know, you pull on it and it's like, oh, you have your keys
Yes.
near you. And then I have
Is that what your car says to you?
Yeah, it's like, hey
Does your
girl,
car talk to you?
hey girl, I know you got your keys. You're good. And then my home, I have a keypad and fingerprint or NFC. Like I tap my
Oh.
Apple Watch to it and it opens. And so I've designed my life
nice.
to not have to take out my keys.
What's it like to be God's favorite?
It's rough. We haven't mentioned I'm also the automation queen. So I automate everything in my life that I can.
I knew that. I knew that. Here we go. Next one. A hyperfixation hobby that lasts 1 week, or a mild interest that lasts a year.
Mild interest.
Ooh, explain yourself.
I was, for me, the first thing came up was watercolor. I love watercolor painting. I do it not enough, but I really like it. And so I feel like, and it's one thing I feel like eventually I might take a class and get better at.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope for that day. But
Yeah.
I do get something from it by being mildly interested in it from time to time.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right.
But I do
last one.
hyper focus on things too, you know.
I hyper focus all the time.
Yeah.
Legit. Like,
But less on
I'm so
hobbies these
hyper-focused.
days. Is usually on
Mhm. I'm just so committed to my platform and all that kind of stuff. I'll get more hyper focused, less on like hobby type of stuff, and more of like, I'm gonna write a book today.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and challenge you on that because I believe you also direct plays, like
Oh, that's true.
in your quote unquote free time.
in my free time.
Although I maybe wouldn't qualify that as a hobby because that you're qualified to do
that
so.
that I'm qualified to do so. I get
Yeah.
paid to do it.
Right.
It is like another job.
Right.
Yes, it is a job. It is a career that
Yeah.
I enjoy.
I genuinely.
Yeah.
That's going to be part of my questions on reverse the microphone. By the way.
Ooh, which is coming up next.
Yes.
Just coming up next. So I hope you're ready. We have
Yep.
one more. Singing into an inflatable microphone in public, or tripping on stage at a conference.
I'm gonna go. I mean, singing into the microphone because
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
We have core memories.
The only tough thing is I don't prefer tripping on stage, but I'm probably the most likely person to do that among the people you know because I get invited on stages occasionally, and I'm super clumsy.
You are great on stage.
Thank you. If I'm standing, I'll do great. If
If
I
I'm
trip,
sitting-
no,
if
I mean
I'm
if I trip,
I know what you meant.
if I genuinely break a leg, no.
If I get to, if I'm standing while I'm presenting, it's gonna be great. But if I'm sitting on a stool,
Imagine
this
this,
presentation is gonna suck.
like me on a panel, and I just insist on standing, and everyone else is sitting. I'm like, let me just stand for
please,
my
guys,
answer.
trust me. You're gonna want me to.
You guys are gonna love
Trust me.
this. I'm just gonna stand up. best panelists ever. Yeah.
And I'm excited for Shelpful. I need this in my life. Like I'm going to become a patron myself.
So it's free to try. We have a long free trial,
There it
2-week
is.
free
It's
trial.
free to try.
And
There we
actually,
go.
Ky, why don't I give your listeners a free month if they
Yes.
want to? I can give you a special code.
They would love that.
And
yes.
I would love to make it free. That would be my dream, but AI costs money. So like we have to pay for every token, every, response that we
Right.
send up to the AI
Right.
people.
Will it
gotta
be
pay for it.
free? Will it be free once they open up the Strait of Hormuz?
Maybe. Yeah, I think that we're increasingly working on stuff that costs us less. So
Yeah.
like the automation things I described, like getting pings based on leaving
Yeah.
or arriving, that takes way much less AI than a conversation because
Yeah.
AI is not having to it's zeros and ones, right? They're here. This thing needs to
Mhm.
happen. Bing, bang, boom.
Right.
And so
right.
I definitely I'm always looking for more accountability things we can fold on that aren't reliant on
Yeah.
paying OpenAI money.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's not free because we can't make it free and also keep
Right.
keep
But
making it.
it's worth the investment
It
though,
is.
because like the overall benefits of getting a tool like this goes a long way. And so
Right.
if anybody's watching or listening that they're like, hey, I want to learn more about this, I will include all of this information in the show notes of this episode. So all you have to do is go down there and click,
And it's
and it'll
inexpensive.
all be there.
It's a sliding scale, and we have like a pay what you
Mm.
can after the free
Oh, I
trial.
love this.
So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
we have like a minimum, but it does cost us more than the minimum we offer because we're just we
Mhm.
want to just be able to help. And if someone can afford to give more, then they have an
Yeah.
opportunity to help us kind of keep the lights on and keep working.
Right.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
just knowing that if I can make something that was free and helped a million people, that's the
Mhm.
dream.
Is that how many people have downloaded it?
No.
Is that the goal? That's the goal.
Yeah, the goal.
That's the goal.
We have.
Yes.
Yeah, we've helped through our app and through our thing. Thousands and thousands of people have tried,
Which is
Shelpful,
amazing.
Which is
Yeah.
amazing, and
Yeah.
we've helped so many people. And then obviously through content and workshops that I put on. I teach people how to automate things and about how to
Yes.
integrate habits and AI and automation. We
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
sell these little smart tags that you can tap to
Mhm.
make things automatically happen. So through all that stuff, we've touched thousands of lives and helped thousands of people. We have not hit a million mark, but hey, maybe after this podcast
It's
recording.
Yep, because that's how many people listen to my podcast.
Wonderful.
1 million
I just
exactly.
brought you onto my little boat there.
Yes,
1 million.
1 million exactly. So congratulations on your success because
we're
of my
doing
show.
what we do because we love it. And if honestly helping even one person gives me a big jolt of success. If I can keep doing what I'm doing and helping even a small amount of people I'm in.
Well, I appreciate what you do and how you're helping, particularly people in my audience. I know that they're going to get something really, really helpful out of this. So thank you for creating it and for sharing it with the world. I have one more question for you. I asked this of all of my guests that are guests on the show. If there's one thing you want the audience to take away from our conversation today, what should that one thing be?
I should have thought about this in advance because I have listened to your podcast.
I know. You should know. You should know this.
I know. Okay. I mean, I think that the one thing I'd want someone to take away is knowing that they're not alone in that feeling of failing yourself in small ways. Because those small feelings of failures can build up and become this big wall between you and the person that you feel like you should be and the society makes you feel like you should be. And I think accepting that you're not the only one, that you should be celebrated for working around those things and actually not shamed for being different, but you're a genius because you figured out that you don't have to fold your laundry, or you figured out that having an AI buddy pop in to ask if you drink water is what makes a difference for you, then you're a genius.
I love this.
I guess that's the one thing.
I love this. Thank you for hanging out with me today, Sharon.
Anytime.
Appreciate you.
And I would like I want to invite you to our podcast too, Jesse and Marie. I asked the other co-host, so this is sanctioned. We have a podcast called ADHD.
You're not going
Founders.
rogue. You're not going rogue right now.
No, and then I'd have Jesse's like, Sharon, we all secretly don't like Ky, even though we keep asking him to hang out and didn't let him leave until 4 a.m. Yeah, Jesse, Marie, and I have this podcast, and we haven't had guests up to this point because there's 3 of us, so it's kind of so we just we had a kind of a little virtual happy hour with some content creators that Ky and I were both on, and we're like, we need to welcome guests every now and then just to mix things up. And so we talk about building. Yeah.
Yeah, because my podcast didn't start off as as one with like guests.
It was just
Uh,
solo Ky, just on the
yeah,
mic?
yeah. Well, it's like I would interview guests, but like it wasn't like the main focus of it. Like it's kind of like a late night talk show where like I would like just talk and then have a guest on for like a couple minutes and then go back
Yeah.
to me.
I could see
But
that working.
yeah, and I did like it, but I also wasn't learning anything. I like to be able to pick people's brains and learn more about things. And this was also before I was diagnosed with ADHD. So
Great
like
time.
now, yeah. And so like ever since then, I've just been interviewing people like yourself and other content creators and therapists and doctors and all these people that I'm like, I have questions because I need to know things, you know. So
Well, I mean, what a gift to be able to learn
yeah,
and, you know, have it be
make
part of your
content
business. Yes,
and get paid
exactly.
to do it.
Yeah, if you don't make me stop talking, I won't, so we should probably end this.
That's that's the story of my life. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sharon, for hanging out with me today.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Elsie. The research that I mentioned at the top of this podcast episode about how often women's ADHD gets missed or mislabeled, it played out word for word in Sharon's own life. Two doctors told her that she couldn't have it, and her own users saw it before she did. That stuck with me. But what hit me even harder was something that she said near the end about how figuring out you don't have to fold your laundry or building yourself an AI buddy to remind you to drink water, that's not failure. That is genius. I needed that reframe today, and I have a feeling that some of you did as well. If anything in this episode resonated with you, go check out Shelpful. The link is in the show notes along with Sharon's social pages. If you got something out of this episode today, please leave a review on whatever platform that you're listening or watching on right now because it genuinely helps the show. Come follow me at The Vibe with Ky on all of your favorite platforms and head to thevibewithky.com for the ADHD store, the blog, the email list, the full podcast archive, and more. Subscribing for things that are special. You can subscribe for only $5 a month. With that said, my friends, thank you so much for watching and for listening. As always, much love, good vibes. I'll catch you next time. Bye.